welcome back to another sunny day. Today in this lesson video, we are going to be focusing on an important reading comprehension skill that is called summarising. Well, what is summarising? A summary is a shortened version of a story that only has the main points. Now, you may have heard of this before, and I'm sure you've done it in your classes with your teachers in your reading groups. So, for some of you it might be a little bit of a refresh, but for some of you we might be learning something brand new. But that's fantastic. We learn brand new things every single day. Let's get started. So, let's look a bit more into what is summarising. Summarising helps us to focus on the main points of a story and only tells us what is important. Summarising helps our memory when we retell stories. So, your teacher might have asked you before, once you've finished reading a story, okay, can you retell that story to me? I'm sure we've all heard that, and that's a really important skill to have. If you tried to retell the whole entire story, it would take a very long time, and not everyone needs to know every single detail. So when we're summarising or retelling a story, we're only telling the most important parts. Okay, here is a list of all the things we need to remember when we are summarising a story. The first one I haven't put on there, but to summarise a story, you have to read a story. But I think you all knew that anyway. So once you've got a book in front of you, a short story, a long story, or maybe you're watching a visual story being told to you, or maybe you're just listening to an audio book. These are all stories that we can summarise, and we need to do these things. So things to remember when summarising. All stories have a beginning, middle, and end. We can include who, what, when, where, why, and how, because those are the important details. We only tell the most important parts of the story. And a very important thing, we have to retell it or summarise it in our own words, because you are the one that's summarising, so it has to be the words that came straight out of your head. All right, lock those things away and we can remember them. Right, once you've got your story, maybe you've read it already or you want to get this ready beforehand, you can get a piece of paper, a book, anything you like, and a pen or pencil, and divide your page into 3 sections. And you can label it the same way that I have, with beginning, middle, and end. As you will remember, like I said before, every story has a beginning, middle, and end. And this chart that I've drawn up here can help us summarise with the most important details. Okay, so you've got your chart in front of you, and we're going to be reading a story. You can sit and listen, you can close your eyes, or you can just read the writing on the screen. I'm going to read the story out to you, and then I will show you how I summarised this story. I chose this one of Goldilocks and the 3 Bears because I know lots and lots of people have heard this story before. If not, you're in for a real treat. So I'll read the story and then I'll show you how I summarised. Off we go. Once upon a time there was a family of 3 bears. One of them was a little baby bear, one was a medium-sized mama bear, and the other was a big, huge papa bear. One day, after they had made porridge for their breakfast, they decided to go for a walk while it cooled down. As they were walking, a curious girl went strolling into their house. Not the smartest decision, really. The young girl had golden curls that swung from side to side as she walked. Her name was Goldilocks. Goldilocks was hungry, and to her surprise, she found 3 bowls of porridge waiting for her. She first tasted the biggest bowl, Papa Bear's porridge. It was just too hot. Then she tasted the middle bowl, Mama Bear's bowl. It was just too cool for her liking. Lastly, she tasted from the smallest bowl on the table, Baby Bear's bowl. It was just right, so she greedily gobbled it up. All this porridge made her tired. She felt that she simply couldn't stay awake. So she went in search of a bed. Firstly, she sat down on the biggest bed. Too hard. Then she lay on the middle bed. Too soft. Then she found a bed that was just her size. Ah, it was just right, so she sleepily snoozed away. At this point, the 3 bears had come home to eat their porridge. But somebody has eaten my porridge, said Papa Bear. Somebody has eaten my porridge, said Mama Bear. Baby Bear looked at his empty bowl. Somebody has been at my porridge and has eaten it all up. Then the 3 bears went upstairs into their bedroom. Somebody has been lying in my bed, said Papa Bear with a low growl in his voice. Somebody has been lying in my bed, said Mama Bear, her teeth starting to snarl. Baby Bear looked at his bed, which now had a small blonde girl in it. Somebody's been lying in my bed, and she's still in it, he shrieked. This woke Goldilocks from her slumber. She sat bolt upright. With the 3 bears looking at her, she jumped off the bed and ran downstairs, out of the door and as far away from the 3 bears as she could. Right, so that was Goldilocks and the 3 bears. I don't know if Goldilocks really made the right decision going into that house. I'm sure none of you would have done that, and especially if she knew that 3 big bears lived in there. Right, let's look at my summary. As you know, I broke it into the beginning, middle, and end. And up on the screen, I'm going to show you my bullet points for how I have summarized. So, the beginning. A family of 3 bears, they make porridge, go for a walk, and Goldilocks comes inside. So, that's my beginning part. The middle part of the story. Goldilocks eats the porridge, Papa's is too hot, Mama's is too cool, Baby Bear's is just right. Goldilocks gets sleepy. Goldilocks goes to sleep in their beds. Alright, that was the middle section of the story. And the end part of the story is always when something big happens called the climax, and then it's the conclusion or the ending. So here's my part. Papa's is too hard. Mama's is too soft. Baby Bear's is just right. The 3 bears come home from a walk to find Goldilocks. Goldilocks runs away. Alright, how do you think I did with my summary? There are a few things that I thought once I was reading over it going, I wonder if that made sense, or is this the most important part of the story? So I might go ahead and change some of those bits and pieces. But while I'm doing that, I want you guys to write a summary of your own. You can either draw up the chart, maybe you've done it already, and you can do your summary of Goldilocks and the 3 bears. That could be maybe your practice run. Then I want you to find a story in your house. Like I said before, it could be a short story, a long story, it could be a visual story that's been read to you, or it could be an audio story, because they're all interesting stories for us to read or listen to. Then you can summarize that story into the beginning, middle, and end. Then what we have to do is just remember those things from before. I'll put them back up on the screen. Things to remember while we're summarizing. All stories have a beginning, middle, and end. We can include who, what, when, where, why, and how. We can only tell the most important parts, and very importantly, it has to be in our own words. Okay, your activity time. The instructions are here on the screen. I might go and alter my summary to Goldilocks and the 3 bears, and you can get started on your summary of whatever story you like. And you don't have to stop there. You could do a summary about as many stories as you wish. Maybe you could read every single book in your house. Alright, you have fun with that. And remember, I've got lots of videos that help with distance learning or learning from home that you can use to help yourself, your family members, whoever you'd like. Have fun, and I'll see you later.